Hi guys, so I know it's been a while since I put that question box on my Insta that I was going to do a Q&A over on YouTube. I'm finally getting around to filming it, so I've got my questions here. Just had to search my archive to find the story that I put on, but I've got it. So let's go. So first of all, let's see. First one, which I feel like I'm going to answer, is there's a lot of questions about Verger. So basically, at the start of this year, I made the decision to step away from Verger, and that is because I just feel like it wasn't something that I could focus on or put my, my full time and energy into. And as much as I still love my fitness, like it's a really big part of who I am and a big part of my life. I do love it for loads of different reasons, mainly for how it makes me feel, like mentally, obviously looking and feeling my best. But with the app, I feel like to make those apps really successful, you kind of have to dedicate your whole life to it. You have to live and breathe fitness, which isn't really the place that I'm at the moment. I'm loving my fitness, but it's like cramming it into my days. I've got 2 young kids. So I'll do the gym class or a gym, session, and yeah, it's just not something that I feel like I can give my full energy to, and I didn't want to, let people down that were buying packages and it wasn't, what they thought it was going to be. So yeah, it was a good journey that I went on, and I'm glad I did it. And at one time I really thought I'm going to put everything into this, but I think deep down it's just not my passion, which is okay. And yeah, I feel a lot better that I made the decision, because it was a hard decision to make, because I didn't want to let anyone down. But yeah, that's basically what happened there. And also the app basically that we used was like a white label app through a company that kind of help people start their own apps, and that was like on a year-long contract, so it was coming up for the contract, so we were like, this is a good time to kind of step away. So that hopefully answers everyone's questions on why I've stepped away from Verger. Next question, wedding. Let's talk wedding. So I feel like I've been putting lots of little bits about the wedding on. We obviously got engaged quite a few years ago now. It's like 3 or 4 years ago, when Lucky was just a baby. But I think when we got engaged, we both decided that we wanted to have another baby before we got married. So we were never planning to have a quick wedding. We always wanted to have, a bit of a longer engagement, have another baby, and then get married. So we had Flossie, and obviously she was 1 in January. So I think I kind of picked up planning a couple of months after she was born, started looking into it again, decided on Mallorca because we was kind of set on a destination wedding at that point, and yeah, found an amazing planner in Mallorca who's lovely, who was helping me with everything. We were going through lots of different venues. I was telling her what I wanted, what I didn't want, etc., and we kind of narrowed it down to like a couple of venues in Mallorca. Then finally planned to go out there at the start of the year, because I wanted to get it booked, because I wanted to do it, I want to do it next year, next summer, which obviously with weddings you actually really need so much longer than I thought. I thought you could just kind of book it and turn it around, I had no idea, but you need quite a while. So anyway, we booked the date to go to Mallorca at the start of this year, and I was like, right, this is so exciting. I was so excited to go, so excited to make the final decision on the venue and get it booked for next year. We went out there and it did not go as planned. We liked the venues, but with each one there was something that didn't work for us when we spoke more to the owners of the venues and chatted between us. And I just felt so disheartened, and something didn't feel right. And then me and Lewis sat down that evening. We went for a bit of dinner, and he could tell how upset I was, because I just had in my head that I was going to be getting it booked, from that trip. I was like, oh my god, this is so exciting, we're going to come home, we're going to have it booked. because it has been quite a long journey of like planning. I didn't think that it would take this long and like be this tough to find the right venue. So yeah, I had really set my hopes on booking it from that trip. But then we decided, we were like, why did we even pick Mallorca? Do you know what I mean? It's such a lovely place and it's a nice destination for a wedding, but also we've got no tie to it. We haven't really spent time there. We don't know the island. We were like, are we just, you know, picking it because it's like a nice destination? So before this, at the start of last year, Flossie's about 5 months. I think this was maybe right at the start of when I picked planning back up after having Flossie. We'd been to see a venue in the UK. I'm not going to say the name because we have actually now decided to go with this venue. But anyway, so when we was having this chat in Mallorca after the day of, it was literally the day, no, that's a bit dramatic. I was going to say it was the day from hell. The reason I say that is because when we flew in, it was, I can't remember exactly what miles per hour, but it was like mental winds to where the plane coming down had the most mental turbulence I've ever experienced, and I was like crying. I thought the plane was coming down, you know, and it just got off to a bad start. Every venue that we were going to, we was literally getting blown to bits. Like, I obviously then didn't like, well, it wasn't that we didn't like the venues, but each one, something wasn't working for us, and it was all just going downhill. Anyway, so then we sat there at dinner and we were like, we haven't had that feeling. You know, you get the feeling, it's like when you buy a house, you go in and you get that feeling. Everyone's like, you'll just get the feeling with the venue, and I was like, right, never got the feeling with any of the ones in Mallorca, but we did get the feeling with the one we viewed in the UK. But the only reason we decided not to go with that in the first place was it's pretty pricey. So we thought doing a destination wedding would save money. But then when we factored in everything that we wanted to have in Mallorca, with the travel costs and everything else, it actually wasn't working out much cheaper than the venue that we liked in the UK. So we had a few drinks and we were like, shall we just go for the one in the UK that we loved? Luckily, the planner that I was using also planned weddings in London as well, in the UK as well. It's actually not London, the venue, but she does UK and Mallorca. So I actually felt awful because she flew out to Mallorca to help us with these viewings, to come along, and then all of a sudden I was doing a U-turn and saying, actually we want to go get married in the UK. But she was like, it's totally fine, you know, it happens a lot. It's hard to nail down a venue because you want it to be perfect. So with that being said, that was a bit of a long-winded story, so hopefully everyone is following. And I'm not rambling on, which I probably am, but I guess that's the beauty of YouTube. Anyway, with that being said, the venue is booked. So excited. Me and Lewis obviously went back and forth, just kind of making sure that it was doable, making sure that, you know, we want to commit. So we just thought, you know what, let's just go for it. We're going to work really hard. We're going to commit to it and it's going to be amazing. So we've booked it for next summer, 2027. So now it's full steam ahead with planning, and I'm just excited to enjoy it now rather than, you know, I think it's been stressful for me trying to figure out the venue, you know, of everything that I've kind of just explained. Now we've finally pinned down the date, planning is underway, and I'm so excited. Okay, so next question that's getting asked a lot, which I wanted to talk to you guys about on here because it's just easier sometimes than Instagram because you can chat more, you know, is asking if I've had a boob job, and the answer is pretty obviously yes. And I wanted to talk more about it because I think there's no point shying away from it, and it's nothing that I'm ashamed of at all. But disclaimer, I'm not trying to encourage anyone else to do the same. Obviously it's a personal choice. I'm just going to tell you about my experiences because I'm getting asked a lot and I think it's pretty obvious that I've had them done. So I got my boobs done first time round when I was, what am I about, before I got pregnant with Lucky, but it was only 3 months before, and Lucky was an unexpected pregnancy. So they looked great for a bit, and then obviously got pregnant, gained loads of weight, gained load of boob, the skin hadn't healed properly. But even with that being said, once I had Lucky and obviously focused a lot on my fitness and training, I think that actually really helped them spring back into place really, and I wasn't that fussed by them. I think they weren't looking as fresh as they did at the start, but you know, I was still happy with them, and I was still, you know, glad I did it. Then obviously got pregnant with Flossie and gained all that weight back, and then yeah, they didn't quite come back to life in the same way as they did first time round, so I decided to get them done again. And I went to a surgeon called Dr. George Samoris. He is on Harley Street, and he was honestly amazing. I couldn't recommend him enough. I got an uplift and new implants, and I'm just so happy with the results. I'm really glad I did it, and I actually wanted to tell the story because obviously I'm getting asked a lot, but also I wanted to recommend him because I think he's so good. The care was amazing, my results are exactly what I wanted, and yeah, I'm just really happy overall. So there you go. I mean, it was pretty obvious, right, that I've had my boobs done, but yeah, that's just a little backstory on, yeah, the boobs. Okay, are we planning to have a big or a small wedding? It's pretty big, not gonna lie. Lewis has got a lot of friends. Obviously I've got a big family, he's got quite a big family as well. My friendship group's smaller, but also, you know, still a fair few people. So yeah, it's a big wedding. It's not big, but it's not small, so yeah, we're really excited to have a big day. Okay, another question that's getting asked a lot is hair questions. So my hair, I've not styled it. When I'm not really doing much or I've not got much planned, I do try and just let it air dry. This is just it air dried, and that's kind of how long it's getting now. I'm very happy with the progress, but I'm definitely not at my goal. But a few things that are helping, and I think that are the most important. Firstly, honestly, is how you're nourishing your body. I genuinely think, as I've, you know, done a lot of research and done a lot of trial and error on hair and like what's working for me, if you're not nourishing your body properly, your hair's not going to be healthy, which is something that I never even realised. I thought it was, you know, purely products, etc. But you've got to be taking the right supplements. You've got to have a balanced, healthy diet, high protein diet. And since I've been focusing on that, I've really noticed a difference. So once you've got that down, then a good hair oil, 100%, 1 to 2 times a week, scalp oiling and a head massage at the same time. There's loads of good oils out there. I've been trying a few different ones, but I feel like they kind of are quite similar. So just find a hair oil that works for you. Either just use the, you know, the handheld massager, or I've got a electric one from a brand called Hair Rave, which I really like. Another one is Red Light. I genuinely think the Red Light's really good for your hair and hair growth and stimulating the scalp. I've been using I've got one thing here. I've got this little brush that I got from Cult Beauty. It's just like a red light thing that you're meant to kind of brush your hair through with. This is nice, but since getting this, I have actually been sent the Current Body helmet. I'm not sure if you've seen it. I think a lot of people have kind of been wearing it. I was seeing it a lot on Insta, which I find is better because obviously you can just put it on and it's on for 10 minutes, and I just do it every evening when I'm kind of chilling on the sofa. So I find it easier than kind of sitting and brushing through with that brush. But, you know, either or, whatever you kind of prefer. Another thing is I was finding that I didn't realise how much build-up I had on my scalp. So I went to I think it was like a Korean head spa thing in Dubai when I was there at the start of the year. and they take, you know, close-up pictures of your scalp, and she said I had a lot of kind of build-up around the follicle, which is going to hold your hair back from growing, because obviously it can't kind of grow out of the follicle if it's all blocked up. So a detox shampoo is really important, like a clarifying or a detox shampoo. So I've been using the Way one for quite a while now, a few months, maybe every other wash. So I think that's really helping, making sure my scalp is, you know, not building up. Protect the ends, so you're not going to retain the length if your ends are splitting, so like a bond repair or a leave-in conditioner after you've washed. And I think that's it. Limiting heat. Obviously you can still use heat, I am still using heat. If your hair's completely dead and you're at the start of your journey, maybe avoid heat for a bit. But because my hair's pretty healthy and it's getting longer, and I'm not heating it like every day, it is fine if you're using a good heat protectant. I'm using the K18 heat protector at the minute, which I really like because it's got a leave-in conditioner in it as well. And what else? Yeah, no bleach. If you're a blonde, you can't be bleaching, otherwise, yeah, your hair's not gonna grow. Mine was completely dead when I was bleaching it. So I get a balayage like once every 6 months, like twice a year. So yeah, they're all my hair care recommendations. Okay, so lots of questions on my exercise and diet. So my top tips for that, I would say, is something I've kind of been leaning more into this year. I think I was eating really well, but I was being quite restrictive, I think, which I didn't realise at the time. Now I'm focusing on whole foods, which I find is helping me stay fuller, have less cravings. So whole foods and protein with each meal is something that I've been doing kind of this year, and it's been really working for me. And then for exercise, I do 2 PT sessions with my amazing trainer Dan, which I love, but also I do Blaze, which is a class that's on at David Lloyd. It's very similar to Barry's, I think. I've never done a Barry's, but I've heard it's similar. I'm actually going to try and start doing a bit of Pilates, because I think sometimes, you know, Blaze is a high intensity workout, and my goal isn't fat loss anymore, it's just to maintain and build muscle. So I don't think I need to be doing as much Blaze. That's something I've been kind of looking into lately, so I'm going to try and find a nice either reformer or, you know, like a Pilates class to do, you know, on them days that I don't want to do like a high intensity workout. So a couple of Pilates a week, a couple of PT, and then maybe 1 Blaze a week for cardio. So yeah, that is what I'm doing at the minute. A lot of questions that I get asked, well, a question that I get asked a lot is, do I want any more kids? And the answer is yes. So right now I am not broody or thinking about having a baby in the slightest, one single bit. We've got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and it is non-stop. I feel like we are fully in the thick of it at the minute. Absolutely loving it, but it is non-stop, and I can't imagine fitting another baby into the mix or being pregnant. The thought of being pregnant right now, like, Flossie is non-stop. She does a day a week of nursery, and that day I have to cram everything in. She's honestly the best, but she's so full on. I think it's just the age at the minute, she's into everything. So yeah, we're very happy where we are now. We're very lucky that we've got 1 of each, but I'm definitely not done. I always said I wanted 4. I mean, it's come down, I used to think 5. Now I'm saying 4. But we'll just see how it goes. I think we'll have a 3rd in a few years. I know some people say, oh, just get them out of the way, and, you know, if you wait too long, you'll get your life back and then you won't want to go back to square one, which, you know, might be the case, but I feel like I'm still quite young, and I feel like that's the gap that's going to work for us now. So I always wanted 2 quite close together, and then I feel like I'm going to wait now till Flossie's kind of like nearly starting school, and then we'll do a 3rd. Obviously we've got the wedding, then I've got my 30th the year after that. So, I mean, you can't plan these things, but if I was going to make a plan, that would be my plan. Turn 30, have another baby. But yeah, we'll see. Another question I've got is if I've got any big projects or plans coming up. I am working on something which is probably going to be my biggest project to date. I'm not going to say too much because I'm still in the very early stages, but I just wanted to put it out there that I'm working on something. It's going to be something that is going to be like, I don't want to give too much away, but yes, I'm working on something and it will be my biggest project that I've ever done. So stay tuned. On that note, I'm going to leave it there, but I hope I managed to answer some questions that you wanted me to answer. I feel like I've been able to sit down and give you a bit more of like a good chat and kind of let you in on a few things. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want me to do a part 2 and then we can answer some more questions. But yeah, thank you for watching.